Hello there students, let us do the integral test for convergence. So the integral test works this way. Remember that basically the sequence or a sequence given by an is equals to 1 over n squared, it is actually a function because basically when we have got a pattern of something, we can actually try to draw it as a graph. So basically we can actually describe it as a graph. And how do we do that? We just let n become x. Where there is n, we're just going to put x to say that here we have got f of x is equals to 1 over x squared. So this makes it a function. So you have just used this rule or this pattern to be able to draw a function in the geometric space. So now, in this case, you have got an is equals to 1 over n squared. And you have replaced n with x because you want to make it a function. You want to draw it on the xy Cartesian plane. Right, that's why you have replaced n with x, but the pattern is still the same, is 1 over n squared. In this case, it will be 1 over x squared. So now when you have made your function as an equation like this, you can actually draw it and you can represent it on a 2D Cartesian plane, which has got the y-axis and the x-axis. So when you represent it in this 2D Cartesian plane, what do you actually do? You can try to say that this function, it is given by y is equals to 1 over x squared. And this function, you have obtained it by using this pattern or this sequence, okay? By just replacing n with x, we are using this sequence to be able to draw this function. So you must remember one thing from the first level, that you can actually compute things that are known as integrals to describe the area underneath the function or underneath the graph. How do we get to an integral? Remember, we just take this function y is equals to 1 over x squared. So this is the function. It's a decreasing function. You can see here is a function. Y is equals to 1 over x. And then you plot rectangles underneath the function. So you plot rectangles underneath the function. So these rectangles, remember that to find their area, you are just going to multiply the value f of x with the value of dx, basically. So you plot rectangles. That's what you've done in calculus 2. So basically the area here, according to this function, the area of the first triangle, it will be given by 1 over 1 squared, because for you to be able to get the area here, when you multiply dx, which is the width of this rectangle, with f of x, which is the height of the rectangle, you are going to get 1 over 1 squared according to this pattern's function. The next one, it will be 1 over 2 squared. The next one will be 1 over 3 squared. The next one will be 1 over 4 squared. So do you see that this is the similar thing that we do whenever we are computing a sum? Because when we are doing the sum, basically when we are doing the sum to infinity of this pattern 1 over n squared from n is equals to 1, we will start by substituting n is equals to 1, then this will be 1 over 1 squared. The next term will be 1 over 2 squared. The third term will be 1 over 3 squared. And then you continue and continue and continue until you reach infinity. So you can see that here we're having two similar patterns here. We have got the pattern of an integral, which we obtained from representing this pattern as a function, okay? And we also have got a sum. So basically, the integral from this interval from x is equals to 1 to x is equals to infinity, it actually approximates the convergence of the series, because you can see that here, according to this graph here, this graph, as it moves and moves and moves and moves, f of x is actually approaching 0. You can see that the y value is approaching 0. So we can actually say that as this move, this is actually converging towards 0. Converging just simply means that the graph, in this case, the graph is approaching a certain value, or an asymptote in this case, okay? Whereas diverging, it means that it never approaches any value. So in this case, you can see that the graph is approaching the x-axis. It is approaching y is equals to 0 at the x-axis, infinitely so, until infinity. And at the same time, you are actually trying to find the sum of this series. So if this graph is approaching a certain value, then we can say that the integral is converging, because basically this area will approach the same value if you add it up in an integral. So basically that's why we say that the integral from x is equals to 1 to x is equals to infinity is actually a good approximation that tells us whether this pattern is convergent, this series is convergent, or is divergent. Why do we have to move from x is equals to 1? Is because in a realistic sense, all terms start at n is equals to 1. So similarly, in our function, we are going to move from x is equals to 1, meaning that we are just going to remove the area of the first rectangle. So that's how it looks like geometrically. So now, to be able to use this integral test for convergence, how can we use it? First of all, the function f of x that you are obtaining from your sequence, f of x, it must be a continuous function, it must be a positive function, it must be a decreasing function in the interval 1 to infinity. Otherwise, if your function looks like something like this, you cannot use an integral test to be able to determine the convergence here, because it's an increasing function in this interval from x is equals to 1 to x is equals to infinity. So it must be a continuous function, it must be a positive, and it must be a decreasing function. You can see in this case that this function decreases from x is equals to 1 to x is equals to infinity. So in a sense here, we're trying to say that for you to be able to use the integral test, these three conditions must be met prior to be able to use it. And then now, how do you interpret the results of an integral test? If the integral from 1 to infinity of f of x dx is a finite number, then you can say that the series is a converging series, because you are approaching a finite number in your integral of the function. But if it happens that the integral of f of x dx is equals to infinity or negative infinity, then you can say that your series is diverging. But that can be understood clearly only if we see examples. Here it is. We have got the series here, 1 over n squared plus 1. And then now the question says, using the integral test, determine whether the following are convergent or divergent. So these are the conditions for convergence and divergence. We are going to interpret them once we have found the integral of f of x dx from 1 to infinity. That is the condition. Find the integral from 1 to infinity. So to solve number 1, we are going to let this function, this 1 over n squared plus 1, this is a pattern an. We are going to replace n with x such that we'll have f of x is equals to 1 over x squared plus 1. So basically what do you do here? Where there is n, you are going to put x so that you can make this a function that can be represented geometrically. In this case, we are assuming that our function is positive, it is decreasing, and it is also continuous. We haven't confirmed that, but let us continue and do the integral from 1 to infinity of this function. The integral from 1 to infinity of 1 over x squared plus 1 and then dx. This is the integral. So when you do this integral, this is an integral from a bound to an infinite bound. When you are doing an integral from a bound to an infinite bound, you have to do the limit as any variable of your choice. You can say the limit as t approaches infinity of this integral until you reach t from 1 of 1 over x squared plus 1 dx. So basically, you must know how to expand an integral that is approaching infinity, whose upper bound is infinity. You basically have to write limit of a variable as that variable approaches infinity, and on top you have to write that particular variable. In this case, this is the limit of t approaches infinity. On top, you're gonna write t. That's how you deal with an integral that is approaching infinity. And then now here, if you integrate, this is still going to be the limit as t is approaching infinity. When you integrate 1 over x squared plus 1, you are going to get the inverse of tan. So this is basically the inverse of tan, or arctan. This is the inverse of tan of x. And then from the bounds from 1 to t. So you know that basically when you integrate when you are integrating 1 over x squared plus 1, you are going to get tan. So in essence here, we are trying to say that the derivative of arctan, you must know this, that the derivative of arctan of x is equals to 1 over x squared plus 1. So the integral of 1 over x squared plus 1 must be arctan of x, the antiderivative, of course. So here, when you substitute the upper bound and the lower bound, you are going to have the limit as t approaches infinity of the inverse tan, or you can say arctan of t minus, minus, you can just distribute the limit, it's your own choice, minus the limit as t approaches infinity of arctan of 1. You substitute the upper bound and the lower bound for your definite integral so that you can evaluate it. So in this case, the integral here, the limit here, let's evaluate the limit as t approaches infinity. As t becomes bigger and bigger and bigger in an arctan function, you can even test this with a calculator by substituting first t is equals to 10, then next you substitute t is equals to 100, t is equals to 1000, t is equals to 10,000. You keep on increasing the number because here we're saying t is approaching infinity. So you keep on increasing the value of t. You are going to see that this whole value of arctan, it will approach pi over 2 radians, which is basically 90 degrees. So basically, if you are going to put numbers here on t values and you keep on increasing them, you start with substituting 10, you substitute 100, 1000, 1000, 10,000, 100,000 and whatnot. You are going to see 89,99999. It shows that the value is approaching pi over 2, which is 90 degrees. And then here, the arctan of 1, basically tan of 45, remember, is equals to 1. So arctan of 1 is equals to 45 degrees. So that is equivalent to pi over 4 radians. And pi over 2 minus pi over 4, this is just 1 over 2 minus 1 over 4, which will give you pi over 4 as well. So you can see that here, this is the integral from 1 to infinity of, this is the integral from 1 to infinity of 1 over x squared plus 1 dx. And now to interpret the convergence or the divergence of this series whose function we have computed its integral, basically you look at this guide. We have said that if the integral of f of x from 1 to infinity gives you a finite number, then the series converges. So in this case, you can see that pi over 4, it is a finite number. It's a number that is well known, a discrete value that we know. So basically this is pi over 4, which is equivalent to 45 degrees. It's just a pi over 4 radians. So this is a finite number. So we can say, therefore, this series, as it goes to infinity, from n is equals to 1 of 1 over n squared plus 1 converges, or you can say it is a convergent series. So that's how you evaluate. You just find the integral from 1 to infinity. Let us just do number 2 and you do number 3 on your own. So now looking at number 2, you have got here the sum or the series from n is equals to 1 to n is equals to infinity of 1 over 2n plus 5. Basically, remember that this 1 over 2n plus 5, it is your function an. So 1 over 2n plus 5, it is the function an. And to convert this sequence or this function into something that you can write geometrically, you have to say f of x would be equals to 1 over 2x plus 5. So where there is n, you are going to put x. So this is 1 over 2x plus 5. And you would have to find the integral of this from 1 to infinity. So the integral from 1 to infinity of 1 over 2x plus 5 dx must give you what? Basically here, remember when you do the integral from 1 to infinity, you first write the limit as a variable of your choice. You can just use t as I use here. T approaches infinity from 1 to t of 1 over 2x plus 5 dx. So now you evaluate this integral, of course, 1 over 2x plus 5. When you try to evaluate this integral, you can notice that this is 1 over 2x plus 5. You can try to use a U substitution method. You can try to use U substitution method by letting, you can just let U be equals to 2x plus 5, such that when you find du dx, the derivative of u with respect to x would be equals to 2. But here you can see that on top we've got only 1 dx. So basically dx here is equals to du over 2. Make sure that you practice U substitution method. It's going to be a very efficient method for you here. So now when you convert your integral, or when you turn around your integral to be in terms of u, this is going to be equals to the limit as t approaches infinity of the integral. Remember, we haven't evaluated it yet. We have just turned it to be in form of u. The lower bound in terms of x, it was 1. So you are going to substitute 1 here where there is x. This is going to give you 2 plus 5, which is going to be 7. And then where there is t, you are going, where there is x, you're going to substitute t as well to change your lower bound. This is 2t plus 5. So on top, you're going to have 2t plus 5. And then this is 1 over 2x plus 5. You have changed it to be u. And then dx is now equals to du over 2. So you have transformed your integral to be in form of u and not in form of x. So in this case, you can just take out 1 over 2 as a constant, the 1 over 2 that we are finding in this term. So factoring out, this is 1 over 2 times the limit as t approaches infinity. If you integrate 1 over u, you are going to get ln of the absolute value of u. So this is ln of u, or the absolute value of u is fine. And then now basically you are evaluating this from 7 to 2t plus 5. Okay, so here where there is u, you are going to substitute the upper bound and the lower bound as well. So this is 1 over 2 into the limit as t approaches infinity of ln 2t plus 5 minus ln 7. Okay, then now that you have this, you can now evaluate and say that here the limit as t approaches infinity for this first term. Okay, the limit as t approaches infinity, you have just to look at what's happening in this. Remember that ln is a natural logarithmic function, and ln natural logarithmic function, you must know its behavior, that as the x values increase or they approach infinity, the function itself also approaches infinity. So here the ln as t becomes bigger and bigger in this term, it's just going to give us infinity. And then the ln of 7 is a constant. Remember that 7 is a constant. So the limit of a constant is just going to give us ln 7. But the fact that here you have got something that has got infinity, it means that your integral from 1 to infinity of 1 over 2x plus 5 dx is actually equals to infinity. You must know that infinity plus something, or infinity minus something, or half of infinity, it will all just give you infinity. Nothing will change. So this is equals to this. So basically this is your integral of 1 over 2x plus 5 dx, and then it gives you positive infinity. So now that you see that your integral is equals to infinity, you check this condition. It says here, when your integral from 1 to infinity of f of x dx is equals to positive or negative infinity, then your series will be a divergent series. So you can say, therefore, the series from n is equals to 1 to n is equals to infinity of 1 over 2n plus 5 diverges, or it's a divergent series. So go ahead and try out number 3 on your own. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to stay tuned.